Okay, so again, hi everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, proudly brought to you by Vantage. It's so great to have all of you here. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I hope so, wherever you are in the world. So there's 800 of you here today. I think you guys should be from everywhere. So if your day hasn't been great yet, hopefully this session will make it a little better. Hopefully you leave this session with a bit more information than before you joined it. Okay, so our topic for today is going to be AI breakthroughs and trading opportunities. Okay, so before we dive in, I love to get a sense of who's with us today. I do want this webinar to be a little bit more interactive because it's gonna be quite boring, especially today. It's very topic heavy. Okay, it might become a bit boring. So I do hope that you guys can be interactive, like interact with me a bit. Those who are on the Vantage app, I'm sorry, the chat again is moving like crazy as usual. So if you have a question or you're saying something to me, I will try my best to go back and look at the chats, but it'll be easier for those people who are on Zoom. Okay, so before we dive in, again, can you guys just say a quick hello? I know Nina, Joash, Bob, Ryan, you guys already said hello in the chat box. For the rest of you, do say hello. And do let me know where you're from, actually. I do kind of want to have a sense of where everyone is from. So yeah, just don't be shy. Share where you're at and maybe what time of day it is for you right now. Some of you might be having your morning coffee. Some of you might be squeezing in your lunch break, or others may just be winding down like in the late evening. So I'm not sure where you guys are from, what time it is there, and just let me know. Okay. It's morning here. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. So Australia, South Africa, Germany, Romania, Mexico. Wow, okay, we've got an international crowd as usual. Singapore, hello. I am streaming from Singapore right now. Morning here. Yes, I can imagine. Guys got up early for this. Okay, yeah, don't be shy. Just talk in the chat so that I know you guys are following me. Okay, now as you know what, yeah. It's really hot and humid here actually. Thanks for asking. I was gonna wait for a few more people to join in, but I think I'll just start. Okay. So maybe you're a little curious about, I'm not sure what motivated you guys, especially those who woke up at 4 a.m. to join today's webinar, but maybe you're curious about what AI can do and whatnot. But I can tell you that AI is crazy. I do use AI on a daily basis, right? I'm not just talking about ChatGPT. I do create videos and other things with AI, and it's so crazy what it can do. Like, I'm not even amazed. I'm not even surprised if it will replace us humans in the future. I mean, I don't know if it will, but I just think that it might because of how advanced it is. It's very smart. It's probably a lot smarter than some humans, or maybe most humans, right? Because it is a machine. So I don't know if maybe some of you've already been trading with AI related stocks, or you're looking for more insights. I'm not sure. Just let me know in the chat box what is your experience with AI right now? Or maybe some of you are just here to see what kind of opportunities are there in this fast changing landscape. Okay, so whatever your reason is to be here, I can tell you you've come to the right place. I cannot really go very in depth today, but I'll just cover a very like the overview of what AI can do, and then if we still have time, we can go into charts. I don't think we'll have time because I do have quite a bit of slides today, and it's very, very heavy and wordy. Okay. So today's gonna be more like an informational webinar kind of thing. Okay, all right. I think everyone's settled in. Let's get started. Right. Give me a moment. I just need to check. I was told that something's not working. Should be working here. It's streaming on my side. Okay, it should be working. It's been streaming for 9 minutes now. I'm not sure for those who are having problems. Maybe you might want to get out and then come back in. Okay, but otherwise, I think it should be working for the rest. Oh, thank you, Josh. Yes, so it's working for most of you, I think. All right, before we get into anything at all, we do need to pause here for a very important uh disclaimer slide. Okay, now that I know some people just skim through disclaimers, but I like you to really pay attention to this one because it sets the tone for how you should approach everything we're covering today. So this webinar is provided strictly for educational purposes. The whole point of Vantage doing these webinars and inviting us to do these webinars for you guys is so that you guys have more insights in trading and like investing, okay? But it's purely educational, okay? So nothing that I share in this session should be taken as investment advice, financial advice, or a direct recommendation to buy or sell any instrument, okay? This is not a signals group. It's not a trade copying service. It's certainly not a guarantee of profits if I do go into the charts and say anything. So what I'll be walking you through today is based on my own trading style, my personal views of the market, and my interpretation of current events and market trends. Your trading journey might look very different depending on your risk appetite. Hello, I see more people joining. Okay, your capital size, your strategies, and even your own psychology as a trader. So I need to stress that trading is risky. CFDs, Forex, whatever it is, on leveraged products which are offered through Vantage are complex instruments that come with high risks of losing money rapidly due to leverage. So you can lose more than you are prepared to invest. It's not just about like potential rewards, it's also being mindful of the risk. So many traders underestimate this, and it's one of the biggest reasons why people struggle in trading. Okay, they're not very disciplined. So please, I urge you guys, for someone who has been trading for like a decade already, only trade with money that you can afford to lose, okay? Do not be greedy. Trust me. I know so many people. Actually, I used to be one of these people who like I got in trade and I won a bit and I'm just like, okay, I'm good at this. This is so easy. And then I throw a lot of money in and I end up losing all of it. So it's very risky. Please know that yes, trading can make you a lot of money, but it can also burn you really badly. Okay. So please always manage your risk responsibly. Okay, so what we're doing here today is opening up a conversation. I'm sharing insights, strategies, and my analysis or my idea of the AI sector and the opportunities that are emerging. But at the end of the day, every trade you make is your own decision, and with that comes your own responsibility. So just be very clear. Again, last reminder, this is an educational session. It's designed to give you knowledge, perspective, and tools to think about the market. It's not financial advice. If you need tailored investment advice, please get help or seek out a professional who can assess and help you. Okay, otherwise, please do not take this as any form of financial advice. Okay, now that we've set those expectations clearly, we can move on with the confidence that we're all on the same page. So, again, education first, discipline always, and risk management above everything else. Please get your trading psychology in check, and that's how you stay in the game for a long enough to succeed. Okay, just remember, trading is not a sprint, it is a marathon. Okay, trading is a marathon. Okay, moving on. All right, now that we've covered the ground rules and disclaimer, let's take a moment to introduce your host of today's session. that's gonna be me. Okay, my name is Cassandra. You guys can call me Cass. I know some of you have been following me for a long time now, for a few years, and then some of you are seeing me for the first time. Anyways, I'll be a speaker for today, your guide, and hopefully by the end of this hour, you take something valuable away from this. Hi for those who just joined. Okay, valuable insights from when it comes to trading and the financial markets. Okay, so for those who's been with me for a long time and just like, I know for some of you have been following me for like ages now, so you already know what I am. But for those who don't know, who I am and why am I here today. So I am actually first and foremost an investment analyst, and then secondly, I am also a prop trader. That means that I do research the markets for fun. I actively trade them, and I take positions with real capital on the line. And for those of you who may not be familiar with the term a prop trader, is someone who trades using a firm's capital, not just their own, with the expectation of delivering consistent results. It's a career that requires discipline, strategy, and ability to stay calm under pressure. And believe me, in the markets, like the ones we've seen in the past couple of years, there's no shortage. There's no shortage of pressure. Okay, so I'm also with a company called Average Fortune Group. For those who may not have heard of us before, Average Fortune Group is a research firm that has been recognized across the region and globally for the quality of its forex and equity research. So in fact, we've been the finalists for the best forex and best equity research house multiple years running, which I think really reflects on the commitment of delivering deep, accurate, and actionable market insights. So we're not just looking at charts or throwing out random predictions. We're actually doing this hard work of research, the really draggy work of back testing and applying structured methodologies so that our forecasts carry real weight. Okay, so now I want to pause here for a moment because sometimes when people hear the words analyst or prop trader, they think that someone's locked in a room staring at 10 screens running complicated algorithm all day. Okay, I know you can go on Google or YouTube or wherever it is on the internet. You see like this human just staring at 10 screens or like multiple screens. Like, okay, yes, sometimes that is the reality, but I do spend a lot of time analyzing the charts, running data models and building scenarios, but trust me, that is not reality for majority of people. I have one computer. Usually trade on my phone. Okay, so there's no dramatic setup here. The whole point of me telling you this is so that you know that anyone can trade. Trading is for everyone if you know how to trade and if you're doing it correctly. Okay. Yeah. So what really drives me and what I hope comes across today's session in my passion of teaching and sharing is, that you guys leave here with something. Okay, so again, I'm not exactly with Vantage. We are invited by Vantage to do these webinars for you guys. So I'll try my best to share the information that I have for you guys today. If you guys have any questions at all, do just ask me in the chat box. Don't be shy. I see the chat moving on Vantage's app. Yeah, I see the chat moving advantages app. Not really questions though, more like statements. But other than that, if you guys do have any questions regarding trading, don't be shy, just ask. If you don't want me to I'm not gonna mention your name. You can just, especially those on Zoom, if you ask me anything, I think it should be anonymous. I'm the only one that can see your name, so you don't have to be shy. Just ask anything you want. There's no silly questions here. All questions are valid, and I'll try my best to answer them. Again, the whole point of this webinar is to help you guys get to the next level in trading. So if you're not asking questions, I cannot really help you answer whatever difficulties you guys are going through. Okay. Okay, and also because trading can be a very lonely journey, many of you tuning in today probably know that feeling. It is a very personal journey. Trading is a very personal journey. So you can put on trade, it either works out or it doesn't. But at the end of the day, it's you and the screen. I'm just here to help you guys with whatever like challenges you are facing. Okay, so for me, being able to connect with traders to share my process to be hopefully help you avoid some of the mistakes I made when I was starting out. Okay, that keeps me motivated to do today's session. So, okay, I'll be honest with you guys, my journey hasn't always been smooth, but that's normal. Trading, as you probably know, is one of the most humbling careers you can have. The market doesn't care who you are, okay? It doesn't care about your credentials. You can have like a PhD, you can be a doctor, you can be whatever you want, a billionaire, whatever it is. It doesn't care how many years of experience you have. It will test you, it will frustrate you, and it will make you question yourself. So I've blown accounts before. So don't worry for those who are like in negative right now. I am a professional trader and I have blown many accounts before, and I've had sleepless nights staring at the charts before. Okay, I don't do that now, but I definitely used to do that. And I have moments where I wonder if I should even continue trading. So I mean, but through all of that, what kept me going was the realization that trading is a skill, just like anything else. If you want to get fit, you need to learn the skills to build your muscles. Okay, it's the same for trading. If you want to be profitable in trading, you need to learn the skills to be profitable in trading, just like anything else in the world. It is something that you can refine, improve, and master with the right combination of knowledge, discipline, and mindset. So here, that's really our philosophy that trading success doesn't come by chasing signals or shortcuts, but building a strong foundation of knowledge and applying it consistently. That's why we've invested so much into research, backtesting, and developing frameworks that traders can rely on. So that's why Vantage invited us to run these sessions for you guys, because we're not here to sell you a dream. We're here to equip you with the tools and perspectives you need to make more informed decision in the market. Okay, so now a little bit about what I personally specialize in and what you can ask me. My main focus areas is Forex and cryptocurrency. I spend a lot of time studying currency pairs, analyzing macroeconomic data, and watching how global equities markets are influenced by everything from earning reports to central bank policy. Over the past couple of years, through my attention has also been drawn more and more towards mega trends, big themes like artificial intelligence, renewable energy, and shifts in global supply chain. So why? Because they are not the short-term fads. They are structural challenges that can shape entire industries for decades. And for traders, that means massive opportunities if you know how to spot them early. Okay, so I'm going to start today's session. If you guys again have any question, I don't claim to know anything. I don't claim to know everything. I know some things, but I don't know everything. Okay, no trader does. The markets are bigger than all of us combined. And what I can offer you today is my perspective, my research, and the lessons that I've learned through the years of analyzing, trading these markets. And if even one idea, one strategy, and one way of looking at things from today's session help you make better decisions in your own trading, then I'll consider that as a good 1 hour spent. Okay, so our agenda for today will be, again, what are the recent AI breakthroughs? Okay, the second part will be which AI stocks are quietly outperforming the markets and driving sector gains. And I want to emphasize the word quietly here because, of course, everyone knows that big headlines about media, NVIDIA, Microsoft, and OpenAI partnership. But beneath the surface are the stocks that aren't necessarily in the headlines every single day, yet they are performing extraordinarily well. They are the backbone of AI, the enabler, the suppliers, and the infrastructure players. Okay. Then lastly, we're going to look at which stocks are hammered the most as AI advances, and maybe those can be your like shorting opportunities. Okay. Okay, so what exactly are the recent AI breakthroughs? Again, guys, this is gonna be very, very like wordy and like informative. So bear with me, ask me questions so that this webinar isn't too like draggy and like heavy. Okay, so let's start with the first area of breakthrough, the core technology and research side of AI. And I think it's safe to say AI has moved in at a pace this year that even experts didn't expect. Not too long ago, we were talking about ChatGPT 4 being revolutionary, and then suddenly we now have ChatGPT 5. It is a multi-model reasoning models and open source competitor like DeepSeek R1, shaking up the entire industry. So these are not just incremental upgrades, they represent leaps in what AI can do. So let's talk about ChatGPT 5, okay? ChatGPT 5, for example, isn't just about answering questions, okay? I don't know about you guys. Can you guys let me know in the chat box how you guys use ChatGPT? I know a lot of people who just use it as Google. It's such a powerful tool, and you're using ChatGPT like Google. That's crazy. There's so much you can do there. So much money you can do with ChatGPT. Okay. I mean, so much money you can make. Okay. So again, ChatGPT 5, for example, it cannot just answer questions like Google. It can reason, it can plan, it can remember context across conversations, and it can even show signs of emotional intelligence. It's almost like a human, right? That's so scary. DeepSeek R1, on the other hand, is just as exciting because it proves that how powerful AI no longer has to be locked up behind expensive paywalls. It's open source, it's accessible, and it's creating real disruption for the incumbent. So now, why does it matter to us as trader? What are the developments in AI? Okay, why does it matter? Because every time a major AI model is released, the ripple effect shows up in the market almost immediately. Think about the chip maker that supply the GPU needed to train and run these models. Companies like Nvidia, AMD, and even memory supplies like Micron. When OpenAI launches a model, okay, I still see people joining. Hello for those who have. Oh my goodness, I did not see that coming. Okay, so there is actually close to 4,000 of you today. That's crazy. There's only 800 of you just now. Now there's 4,000 of you. The chat is moving non-stop. Again, if you are joining on Zoom, you will have the advantage here in terms of chat. You can ask me anything because there's only like a little more than 10 of you, like almost 15 of you on Zoom. So if you ask me questions on Zoom, I will be able to see it. But if you are streaming in from Vantage app, the chat is moving like crazy, and I'm definitely gonna miss your chat. It's just nonstop. It's been nonstop since we started until now. So for those on Zoom, if you have any questions, just ask away. Those on Vantage app, if you ask any question, chances are I'm gonna miss it, but I will scroll right before the webinar ends. Okay. Okay, so again, why does this matter to us that AI is developing? If we are traders, we are investors, why does it matter? Okay, so I mean, if you are on Vantage's platform, you can trade many of these names in stocks, those that are like AI related. So you can names as stocks, CFDs, giving you exposure, giving you needing to own your own shares overnight. So beyond equities, this announcement often move the index. Okay, so if you are someone who trade the index like NASDAQ or S&P 500, this is going to be relevant to you. I personally do not trade index. Okay, I do not trade index, so a lot of this information for me is good to know, but it doesn't really affect me that much. I personally trade a lot of Forex. Okay. So the first breakthrough bucket is really models themselves. Hello, I see more people joining on. Okay, there's like more than 4,000 of you now. Okay, like the brain of AI, the pace of innovation here is telling us that AI isn't slowing down. So as traders, we need to watch these events closely because they often serve as catalysts for market moves that we can position around. Okay, again, depending on what you trade. I, again, personally trade a lot of cryptocurrency and a lot of Forex, although I agree that any news at all will affect the markets in any way, in some way or another, but not so much for me. It is more for traders who trade a lot of index. Okay, take note. Okay, so the breakthrough in infrastructure and hardware, second big area of I had some problems with software before. You highlight the main topics you have covered to this point, please. Okay, so I'm basically I just started actually. So I did the agenda and then what are the recent AI breakthroughs? Basically, the recent AI breakthroughs is DeepSeek R1 and GPT-5. GPT-5 can now reason with you, it basically is a human. It even has like emotional intelligence. Okay, so it is very important for traders who trade index. Okay, that's basically the summary of the last few slides. And now I'm going to the second slide. So you didn't really miss much. Don't worry. We're just getting started really. Okay, so the second big area breakthrough is happening in infrastructure and hardware. Basically, the backbone of that powers AI. We sometimes forget that behind every flashy demo, there is a data center, there's chips, and enormous amount of energy making it possible. So right now, we're looking breakthroughs at all three of these areas. One of the chipset is, and I mean, we all know NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA still dominates, but we're also seeing AMD catching up and new players entering the field and specializes in AI accelerators. There's also been innovation in memory and storage. Companies like Micron, creating high bandwidth memory and SSDs specifically for AI workloads. Then you've got companies building entire AI data centers, just like not just in Silicon Valley, but I mean globally. Countries like Singapore, Malaysia, and the Middle East are investing billions. I'm talking about billions into AI infrastructure. Actually, I'm in Singapore right now. Our Prime Minister even just did a speech about how AI solved a math problem like in seconds where a human wouldn't be able to do it, and therefore we need to use AI because it is going to cut our work in like half or even more. Okay, so here's why all of that matters for trading. Okay, these breakthroughs ripple across multiple asset classes. So the first is stocks, definitely. Okay, chip makers, server manufacturers, and cloud providers all react to the trend. So I'm talking about if you guys are trading individual stocks, right? You can look at all this that I just said, like the chip makers, NVIDIA, AMD, Macron. Okay, these are the ones that you can keep your eye on. Index, yes, because when the tech sectors is buoyed by AI, indices like Nasdaq 100 and S&P 500 gain momentum, but also commodities and forex get impacted as well. Obviously, not as much as those individual stocks and index, but it will get impacted in some way or another. Okay, why? Because the massive demand for energy and power to power these data centers have been driving moves in oil, natural gas markets. So when energy markets move, the knock-on effect and currencies tied to those commodities like Canadian dollars, for example, and the Australian dollars, for example. Okay, yeah. So you see how AI breakthroughs in hardware aren't just about technology stocks. They ripple across multiple instruments that you can trade on your own. Okay, so whenever there's AI news related, just take note. If you're a forex trader, take note on Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, because they need energy to power this AI. And if you are an index trader, you definitely need to take a look at those. Okay, so the second category of breakthrough is all about infrastructure layer, the physical backbone. And for us traders, it means that watching not just the flashy AI names, but also the enablers and the ripple effects they create across energy and forex. Okay, just give me a sec to scroll through. I'm done with this part. I'm gonna move on. Let me just scroll through the chat to see if there's any questions because Vantage app is moving like crazy. Okay, so Okay, I've got a question. I see a question here. Isn't AI just a hype? How do we know it isn't another bubble like the .com? Okay. Very good question. I I mean that's a very fair question. Okay, yes, I think AI, right, has its hype elements, but it's different. There's a difference in adoption. So in the .com era, okay, many companies were just ideas on paper. Okay, today AI is already integrated into real products and services. So I'll give you an example. Microsoft Office uh, suite with Copilot to hospitals with AI diagnostics. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen those videos on social media or online where like hospitals are using AI. I even saw a doctor performing surgery with AI. I don't know if that's true, but yeah. So other than that, to financial institutions running AI-driven risk models. So revenue is flowing. Infrastructure demand is measuring and productivity gains are visible. That doesn't mean that every AI stock will survive. Obviously, some of this not going to survive, but many will fall away. But the winners are already shaping entire industries. So traders can take positions on both sides of CFDs, which is what makes the market different from the one-way bubble. Okay. I see a lot of your questions. You know what? I see a lot of questions actually. I'm gonna quickly finish today's slides. It's just a lot of information. Yeah, today's slides it's just informative, it's basically just knowledge, general knowledge on AI and like whatever is happening. I'm gonna quickly finish the slides and then I'm gonna try to answer some of your questions. Okay, I see a lot of them actually. Okay, so the third breakthrough in AI is arguably the one that will shape the next decade which will definitely be real world adoption. AI is not longer just a tool for researchers or tech companies. It's being integrated in finance, healthcare, manufacturing, retail, and even national security. Just think about it. Hospitals are using AI to analyze scans faster than radiologists. Okay, that's crazy. Factories are using AI to optimize production lines, and financial institutions are using AI-driven models to manage portfolios and detect fraud in real time. So for us as traders, this is where the long-term story unfolds, because as more industries adopt AI, entire sectors are being repriced. Healthcare companies that integrate AI diagnostics are suddenly worth more. Traditional IT services firms that fail to adopt AI are being left behind. Even in consumer markets, AI is reshaping advertising, retail, and e-commerce. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen an advertisement done by AI. And now, how does this affect you guys as trader? Well, think about it. Like stocks like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, all pushing AI into their core business models, right? Think about ETFs that track all AI-driven companies, which are also available as CFDs and even cryptocurrencies. Okay. Yes, even here, AI has a role which coins like render, RNDR, and AI-linked tokens gaining tractions as part of the AI boom. These are instruments you can access directly through Vantage. Okay, the key message here is that AI breakthrough aren't just about research labs or chips factories anymore. Okay, they are literally reshaping industries on the ground, and they create opportunities across stocks, index, commodities, forex, and even cryptocurrency. Okay, so all tradable on, again, Vantage website, and adoption accelerates, and traders who understand the connections will be best positioned to capture the next moves. Okay, so which AI stocks is quietly outperforming the markets and driving sector gains? Um, Before we get into this, okay, I want to frame this properly, because yes, the headlines are always going to be about Nvidia and Microsoft or like the big tech giants, okay? But rightly so, they're the key players, okay? I totally understand why it's always framed that way. But beneath the surface, if you think about it, there are other companies that are quietly, when I say quietly, I mean, like nobody knows about them much but they are steadily delivering massive gains without grabbing all the attention. So one example that I put here, okay, I only put one example, okay, is Micron Technology or MU. Okay, while everyone has been focused on Nvidia's rise, Micron stock has actually surged about 50% year to date. Okay, outpacing many bigger names. I know like a lot of people, they like to like get in and out of the markets, but if you find the correct thing to trade, you can actually just stay in the markets and just ride all that gains. Okay, so why has Micron increased by 50% year to date? It's because Micron makes the memory and the storage technology that every AI system relies on. You can't train GPT-5 or run DeepSeek models without the chips and the storage that Micron builds. So without Micron, there is no AI there is no ChatGPT, there is no DeepSeek. Okay, this is a classic example of a stock that doesn't make the headlines every single day, but is absolutely critical to the AI ecosystem. And traders who spot this early will be rewarded. So here's my tip. Go look at Micron, consider getting in on it, but get in at a fair value price, okay? Now, the beauty about trading, okay, is that you don't need to buy the physical shares and lock up a tons of capital. You can just trade stock CFDs, which means that you can go a long way if you believe that trends will continue, okay, or short if you think that stocks has run too far or too fast. So the flexibility is crucial because we've seen AI-driven stocks can be volatile. It's not just Micron. There are also other infrastructures and supply companies quietly driving gains that are available to trade on Vantage. Okay, so this first piece of puzzle is about looking beyond the obvious giants and spotting the enablers that are quietly outperforming. I've only put one example here, but do go and look into it. Okay, go and look into what are the backbones of AI so that you know what stocks you can also touch on. Okay, again, please take this as educational. Don't, like right after this webinar ends, don't jump in to Micron immediately. Don't be like, oh, okay, that lady on that webinar said that Micron is the backbone of AI, therefore I should invest in it. You should invest in Micron. I totally believe you should invest in Micron, Nvidia, and whatever company is related to AI. I think it's a good sector to invest on, but please invest in anything at fair value. Okay, do not jump into it right now just because I said it was good. Okay. Let's not limit ourselves to just individual stocks. The second lens through is at the index and sector level, because when AI stocks rally, it tends to pull entire indices higher with them. So if you're trading, you can capture these broad moves through index CFDs. Take the NASDAQ 100, for example. AI-related companies make up a huge portion of the index. Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, all of them are riding the AI wave. This year, we've seen the NASDAQ significantly outperform broader markets like the Dow. Traders who have positioned themselves in NASDAQ 100 CFDs and could ride the entire sector's growth without having to pick individual winners. Yeah, so if you don't want to pick individual stocks or individual things, you just buy the S&P. Let me tell you guys this, okay? My entire portfolio, only 20% of it is actually in trading. If you guys go on like YouTube, Google, whatever it is, you see like these people like, oh, I made $100,000 on trading. I don't believe it. I think they make more money from YouTube than they actually do from trading. Okay, a real investor would not put all their eggs in one basket. I personally do not have a lot in trading. Like if I'm talking about like CFDs, I don't have a lot in like CFDs. A lot of my net worth, a lot of my assets are in the index. I don't trade the index, but I buy it as a passive investor. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. AI-driven growth doesn't stop at tech. Entire sectors like cloud computing, semiconductors, and even cybersecurity are being repriced higher. And when those sectors rise, they drag their ETFs, their suppliers, and their related indices along with them. So for traders, this means that sometimes the best place isn't stock picking at all. It's recognizing that AI is the theme of lifting whole markets and trading those broader instruments directly. Okay, so finally, let's think bigger. Because of impact of AI isn't confined to equity, it's spilling over. Okay, it's spilling over into commodities, forex, and even crypto, all of which you can trade. Okay, for example, think energy market. AI breakthrough has driven massive demand of electricity and power-hungry data centers. That in return has pushed up demand for natural gas and oil, which are critical inputs for energy generation. Traders who caught that connections have been able to capitalize on commodity prices swings, and commodities don't just move in isolation, they affect forex as well, because you do need like forex to purchase anything. Okay, so the Canadian dollars is closely tied to oil prices, while the Australian dollars is tied to commodities like natural gas. So when AI drives energy demands, it indirectly drives currency pairs like the USD CAD or AUD USD, both which you can trade on your own. Okay, so there's also crypto. Believe it or not, AI has become a huge theme in the digital asset space as well. Tokens like RNDR render, which powers decentralized AI graphics rendering, and FET, which is fetch.ai, focus on AI agents, have quietly been some of the best performing crypto assets this year. These are available to trade as crypto CFDs on Vantage, okay, allowing you to capture AI's impact beyond traditional market. So the key point here is AI winners are not just the stock markets. They show up in indices, commodities, forex, and even crypto. And you can just do it on your own. You can just trade them on your own. Okay, so which stocks are hammered most as AI advances? Disrupted tech and services stocks. Okay, now let's talk about this. For example, traditional IT outsourcing firms that once made money on repetitive coding tasks are seeing demand shrink because AI models can now generate, debug, and optimize code at a fraction of the cost. Okay, so they are going to be losers in this as well. Similarly, companies that built their business on content creation, transcription, and customer service are being disrupted by AI chatbots and generative tools. Even within the semiconductor space, there are winners and losers. Yes, NVIDIA has definitely dominated, but at times announcements like the release of DeepSeek R1 has caused sharp sell-off in NVIDIA stocks, wiping billions of its market cap in just days. Okay, traders, you can take advantage of this volatility and shorting NVIDIA CFDs during those dips. Other chips makers that have had competitive AI offerings, smaller firms without the scale of R&D budgets are being left behind too. So this first category is being about direct disruption in tech and services sectors, and the trading opportunities here aren't just about going long on the winners. They're also about identifying the laggard and positioning downfall moves. So the beauty of using CFDs, you're not limited to buying. You can just take advantage of the falling prices. Okay, so the next that are being hammered is the traditional industries outside of pure tech. So especially media, retail, and professional services. Take the media and publishing industry, for example. AI can now generate sorry guys, I was accidentally muted. Okay, AI can now generate news articles, create ad copies, and even produce realistic images and videos. That puts pressure on traditional advertising agencies, publishing houses, and even parts of entertainment industries. We've already seen companies in those sectors cutting jobs and issuing warnings about revenue slowdown. So retail is another one. Companies that don't integrate AI for inventory management, personalization, and customer service are falling behind those that do. Investors and traders are punishing laggards, and their stock prices reflect that. So even in healthcare and law, firms that fail to adopt AI tools for diagnostics and contracts analysis are slowly losing their edge. Okay, so now how does this show up for you as a trader? Well, if you don't want to focus on single names, you can trade the index again that capture sector underperformance. For example, while Nasdaq has surged thanks to AI, other index with less AI exposures have lagged. So traders could exploit the divergence. And don't forget, when sectors like retail media are weak, the suppliers are related equities get dragged down as well, giving traders multiple angles to trade. Okay, so finally, let's zoom into our last part of this webinar, and then I'll answer some of your questions. Okay, I'm trying my best to go as fast as possible because I know there's a lot of questions, okay? Let's look at the broader ripple effect of AI, because not all of the losers are obvious. Sorry, I've got a question here. Okay. There are also ripple effects in commodities, forex, and even crypto. Okay, for example, if AI adoption accelerates remote work and automation, it could reduce long-term demand for office real estate, which hits construction-related commodities like steel and industrial metals. Okay, similarly, if AI reduces the need for traditional labor-intensive industries, that can put pressure on emerging market currencies that rely on outsourcing and cheap labor as part of their growth stories. Think of countries where call centers and IT outsourcings were once booming. AI threaten those revenue streams, and that can weaken their currencies over time. So on the crypto side, the story is similar. When AI themed tokens like Render and Fetch.ai have surged, many non-AI focused tokens have been hammered by the shift in investor attention. Traders who only focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum miss that capital from rotating out of older projects into AI-linked coins. So that's me. I am very heavy on Ethereum and Bitcoin, and I definitely missed out on that boom. And that's totally okay. But now that we are informed, we can kind of know where to go with that. Okay, so you can capture both sides of the story, going long on the tokens benefiting from AI hype and shorts on the ones being left behind. So the third and final category of losers isn't just about individual companies, it's about entire asset classes that face secondary pressure as AI reshapes industries, consumption patterns, and capital flows. So as traders, these ripple effects give us plenty of ways to position across stocks, indices, commodities, forex, and crypto. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys for the updates on AI. Basically, AI is up and coming with ChatGPT and DeepSeek R1. It affects us as traders. Again, just to summarize everything, it affects us as traders because certain industries is going to go up, it's going to boom, and certain industries is going to go bust. So industries that's going to go boom is definitely going to be the tech related, AI tech related industries. So those are industries that you can buy. The one that's gonna not energy as well, because energy is needed. Chip industries, those are definitely gonna boost the market. Okay, those that are not gonna perform as well, like I said earlier on, is gonna be like the service sector, the retail sectors. Those are probably gonna see losses, and maybe even property, because if AI takes over, then people don't need to go to offices anymore, and therefore office buildings will not be as the demand for office buildings will not be there, and the price is going to drop there. So there might even be a property, like the shortage, not shortage of property, but loss in demand of property. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys today. We're gonna do a short Q&A. because I do see a lot of your questions. In the meantime, you guys can follow us on multiple platforms. That's not Twitter, that is X. Okay. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, and Telegram. Okay, those are our handles. Let me just see some of the questions. I'm scrolling. Okay, I've got someone asking, besides NVIDIA, Microsoft, which AI stock should I be looking at? Okay, like I mentioned earlier on, Micron technology is one that you can look at. Okay, because it is the backbone of AI. Without Micron technology, there is no AI. Okay, you need the chips or whatever Micron technology is providing to even create the AI. What index should I trade with when there's AI? Okay. Whenever there is AI news, the index that will be affected most is definitely going to be NASDAQ 100. NASDAQ 100 is the tech stocks of America. Okay, it is the top 100 tech stocks in America. Okay, so if there's going to be any AI news, you want to be trading NAS 100 because the volatility and the volume is going to be in NAS 100. Okay, S&P 500 is also impacted through the Magnificent Seven stocks. Okay, so you're going to be trading indices. Just do NASDAQ 100 and S&P 500. Obviously, S&P 500 will not be affected as much as NAS 100, but you can still trade both. Okay, so we already covered that. Which industries are losing? Should I avoid? We've already covered that. Again, media, outsourcing are two of the big examples. Okay, how does AI affect commodities? Okay, I think I did mention, okay, some of your questions here are coming in before I said it. So I did mention just now that how commodities will be affected will be like energy. Okay, oil and natural gas prices will, oil and natural gas will be in demand because you need oil and natural gas to power the AI, right? These are very energy intensive stuff. You know, AI is not just like, it's not like in a bubble in the air. Okay, you actually need energy. There's like you need data centers and energy to power it. So commodities that will be affected will be oil and natural gas for sure, because you need those. And then the currencies that will be in use will be US dollars, sorry, not US dollars, Canadian dollars and Australian dollars. Why? Because Canada is a very big producer of oil. Therefore, Canada's price, right? Canadian dollar is very highly linked to oil prices. Okay, so because oil prices is expected to go up, obviously Canadian dollars is going to go up as well. Okay, the other thing will be Australian dollars, because our Australian dollars is tied to natural resources. Cool. Give me a moment. I know there's more questions. This chat is still moving. I'm trying to catch some of your questions. Okay, we've got like 4 more minutes left. Let me just answer a few more questions that I really need to stop. Not because I want to stop, but because at 1 hour point, okay, at 1 hour point, I'm gonna get cut off. Okay, I've got a question here on Zoom. I'm gonna answer the Zoom one first because the Vantage app has too many questions. I have my own intuition, taking into consideration that bots and fake impressions could be quite impressive, but as soon as vast amounts of the masses would grind it through, see that there is nothing else than fake stuff, I would not step any further. It seems to me a lot of like a tulips bloom in the 17th century is just in my I don't, yeah, okay, sorry, did I not read that out loud? Okay, so I've got someone here saying that it's just an intuition. So taking into consideration that there are gonna be bots and fake impressions, etc., which, you know, it could be quite impressive. But as soon as the vast amount of the masses would grind it through and see that there is nothing else than fake stuff, okay, I would not step any further. It seems to me that it's a tulips boom in 17th century. This is just my idea. Okay, I totally agree with your idea. There's going to be an oversaturation, right? For sure. Okay, so to give you an example, let's just not even talk about like stocks or AI, or I mean stocks or like trading or whatever. So I have stepped into like AI. I think it's crazy that AI can create like those videos, like those AI generated videos. So I think it's crazy that it can do that. I have started like exploring that, but it's so oversaturated already. Like it's crazy. Like the masses has already started in it. So it's not going to end up being profitable. There's not going to be any gains or anything because like the masses have come and it's going to be oversaturated. Like competition is there and people are learning. And also I did read the news, I think it was yesterday or the day before. I don't know how real this news is, but apparently China has implemented a mandatory learning of AI in school starting the age of 6. I don't even know how you teach a 6-year-old AI, but if we're gonna have like entire country learning about AI, we're all gonna be screwed, right? If you don't learn it, you are going to be left behind. Okay, I'm sorry, I see one question here. It actually scrolled away already because the chat is still moving like crazy. I know there was a question, someone was asking, isn't AI stocks really expensive right now? Should I still get in? Okay, absolutely. The risk is real. Like I said, it doesn't have to be AI, it doesn't have to be anything. Anything you purchase, anything you get in on should be getting in on at fair value. Okay? Stocks like Nvidia have already gone parabolic at times and the corrections can be sharp. That's why position sizing and risk management is super critical when you're trading. Okay, so with CFDs, you don't need to commit huge capital to trade these moves. You can just take smaller position, hedge, and even trade the downside. The key isn't avoiding risk, it's managing it. So always use a stop loss. Okay, define position sizes and never risk more than you can afford to lose. Okay. Guys, I'm gonna probably get cut off in like 1 minute. I'm just gonna answer one more question. What's the best way to stay updated on AI news for trading? Okay, follow earnings calls of AI-related companies like NVIDIA, Microsoft, AMD, Micron. Watch AI research announcement like ChatGPT or DeepSeek launches and track government regulations on AI exports like and chip supplies. Okay, so news like this moves the market really quickly. Okay, platforms like Vantage also provide market commentary and insights on their app, like these webinars. We're constantly sharing information on these webinars. So do join so that you are updated. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. I know there's so many questions. I see so many questions, but I cannot answer you because I'm gonna get cut off in soon. I'm already at the 1 hour mark. So I'll see you guys again next week. I will same time next week. Take care. Happy trading. I hope you guys are profitable. Bye. Bye bye.